Hello folks, much later in the month than usual because I've had a holiday. We've got the EV Lease Deals of the month for August. Let's crack straight on with the content. This video is sponsored by Car2Cover. More about them at the end. All the deals in this video are 3 months up front, 10,000 miles a year, 3-year deals. And please, if you're interested in any of them, use the link to LeaseLoco down below. Lots of people evidently inquiring about these cars and not using the link, so please go and use the link. It does support the channel. The first one we've got here is the good old Nissan Leaf, 168 miles of range, 435 litres of boot space, 150 brake horsepower. This is the 110 kilowatt Accenta 39 kilowatt hour, £868 up front and $289 a month. So average price on it's been 363 over the past year. Peaks on that 387, 441, 429. 289 quid, not far off the cheapest price we've seen it all year, with 868 up front. By the way, a couple of the deals in this one are probably the cheapest price we've seen them, if not just this year, possibly ever. Ora Funky Cat, still deals around on these. You'll remember, I think the cheapest price they got to was about 290 something. It's a bit more now, 310 quid a month. I actually met with Ora yesterday and they're far exceeding their sales expectations. 930 quid up front and 310 a month. 193 miles of range, insurance group 24 again, 171 brake horsepower, 228 litres of boot space. Now, although that boot's quite small, the cabin is really spacious in these things, really surprisingly so as well. 0-62 in 8.3 seconds, very nippy little car. Average price on it's been £449, at its peak 604 quid a month. So we're almost half of that price. At the lowest point, 297, currently 310. So we're not far off that. Almost 150 quid under the average price over the last 12 months. These deals have been around for a little while now. There are some changes coming up at Ora, so I would expect these deals to disappear in the not too distant future. This one is the first edition. It's loaded with kit, so jump on it. Next, we've got the MG4, but this is not just any MG4. It's the spicy one. It's the new one, the X-Power. Now, it loses one of its unique selling points is that, you know, it's really cheap when it first came out. But considering the performance you get with this, it is a little bit of a Tesla Model 3 rival in terms of that performance. 1,335 up front and 445 a month. Only 289 litres of boot space, but you've got 239 miles of range, 435 horsepower. And a 0-62 time of 3.8 seconds. And by the looks of it, some fairly substantial brake calipers. These have literally just come out, but 487's been the average price. 445 is the price now, with 1,335 up front. Next, we've got the Skoda Enyak. This is the 80 Sportline 82 kilowatt hour version. 1,457 up front and 485 a month. Now, this is a brilliant price on one of these, like a really, really good price. Let's go down to it immediately. On the way there, I'm going to tell you that the car's got a 0-62 of 8.5 seconds. But check this out. The average price on it's been £656. At its peak, 808 there in December, 827 back in October, and even in more recent times, that's been around about 750 quid a month. About 700 really is the cheapest it's been for any prolonged period of time. We had a week there where you could get one for about 640. Currently 485 with 1,457 up front. That's a great deal, folks. This is the Sportline Plus, which is the one you want to get because it looks the business. If you go for some of the cheaper trim levels on an Enyaq, they don't look quite so good. They don't look quite as premium. The Sportline Plus really does look like a decent premium car. So that's the one I'd go for in the range. 485 a month with 1,457 up front. And as you can see here, it's the cheapest we've seen it all year. I think it's probably the cheapest we've ever seen one, to be honest. Next, we've got its brother or sister, the VW ID4. This one's 1,500 up front and 500 a month. 320 miles of range, 204 brake horsepower, insurance group 26, 543 litres of boot space. This is the Life Pro Perform trim. Life Pro Perform. 0 to 62 in 8.5 seconds. Again, average price on this has been 643 quid. At its peak, 785. We've got another little peak there, look, 750. For most of the year, around about 670, 660, 690. So average price 643, currently £500 a month with 1,500 up front. That really is a good deal, and it is a stock deal. So if you're interested in that one, jump on it right now, this minute, and you might have a chance of getting it. Obviously, use my link when you do that. Next, we've got the Toyota BZ4X. The Subaru Soltera is an extremely similar car to this one, by the way. This is the pure 71.4 kilowatt hour with 318 miles of range, 204 brake horsepower, 452 litres of boot space, and insurance group 35. 1,508 up front and 502 a month. And look how much of a deal that is. Average price on these has been 690 quid. At its peak, 877. Just here, 821. Pricing's been pretty erratic by the look, so it's actually off the scale there, and we can't see what it was. Around this time last year, they were 611, and I think the cheapest we've previously seen one was 551. Currently, 502 with 1,508 up front. So that's nearly 200 quid under the average price for the year. So that is a great deal. Personally, I think there are better EVs around for that kind of money, but a lot of people just will never consider anything other than a Toyota. And if you're one of those people, that's probably about as good a price as you're going to get on one on that particular lease profile. Don't forget, folks, if you want to change the lease profile, if you'd rather have higher or lower deposit, or you'd rather have more miles or fewer miles every year, or you want it over 2 years or 4 years, use that link, go in, change it to your heart's content, find something that suits you. I think LeaseLoco is really easy to use, so go and have a twiddle with it, and the website. Nissan Aria, 160 kilowatt engage, 63 kilowatt hour, 1,592 up front and 530 a month. This one's a factory order, insurance group 31, 251 miles of range, 217 horsepower and 466 litres of boot space. 0 to 62 is 7.5 in this one. And once again, I think it's the cheapest price we've seen one for. The average price on it's been 592, 656 back in June. Currently, 1,592 up front and 530 a month. And then finally, we've got the Polestar II, the 170 kilowatt, 69 kilowatt hour standard range SM Pilot. 1,629 up front and 543 a month. This one's in stock as well. Usually you have a bit of a wait on a Polestar 2. This one's in stock. 7.4 seconds to 62. You can go and check out my review of the Polestar 2. I absolutely fell in love with the thing when I got it, and I didn't expect to. It was a brilliant car. Very, very well made. 597's been the average price on it. As you can see, the pricing's not as volatile on these as it is on many brands. It seems to stay fairly steady around about sort of the 6 to 650 mark. Currently 543 with 1629 up front, and it is in stock. Now, as I said at this, now if you're considering any kind of car lease at all, please consider getting yourself some gap insurance, and please go to car2cover.co.uk to get that gap insurance. I've done lots of example quotes for gap insurance on leases in some of my other videos, but you can typically expect to pay between, say, £150 and £200 for 3 years worth of cover. It's not a policy you need to renew every year. You buy it once and it lasts you for the term of your lease. Now, if your car gets written off, not only will it cover the gap between what the insurance company pays you and what the finance company asks you for, it will also cover you up to 3 payments for a replacement lease. And Car2 Cover are gap insurance brokers. They're professional insurance brokers. They're not car dealers. And I'd rather buy an insurance policy from an insurance broker. I wouldn't go to a car dealer if I wanted to buy a newspaper or if I wanted to buy a joint of beef. I'd go to a butcher or a newsagent. If you want an insurance policy, go to an insurance broker. You can get a quote from Car2 Cover online. If you want to go ahead with your policy, give them a ring, tell them that Jim sent you, and you'll get 10 quid off the price you pay. Please use that link to LeaseLoco if you're interested in any of these deals or want to have a look at any others. And please go and show some love to Car2 Cover. Thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.